My encouragement for anybody that is starting, don't be scared. Like at the end of it all, you can never become a master without making mistakes. Put yourself out there. If you're passionate about arts, if you're passionate about photography, if you're passionate about music, you have to start doing it. The only thing that's holding you back is you're not doing it. You have to start somewhere.
Ownership and greatness.
Welcome back to the Ownership and Greatness Show. I'm your host, Joe Chege, back with another exciting episode. And as always, if it's your first time, welcome to the family. Feel free to subscribe to our YouTube channel and also subscribe to all our podcast platform to be in the loop whenever we drop any new episode. All right, today is an exciting day. I wanted to just come and break down some pointers in regards to how we can actually use our gift, how we can actually use our talent to be able to build some social proof and create our own, I would say, legacy in the marketplace. Because as a graphic designer, as a content creator, I'm always asked by up and coming, I would say, creators and designers, how were you able to position yourself? How are you able to use the gift or the thing that you love to be able to make money? And not only that, be able to create impact in society. So for me, I'm always grateful for my family and my mom specifically for always pushing me to always pursue my passion. And this has been a blessing because for a lot of kids in my era or during my time, a lot of our parents wanted us to do what was popping. Like if it was when IT dropped, everybody wanted to do IT. When accounting was the main thing, all the parents wanted their kids to focus on accounts and all that stuff. But I'm grateful when I told my mom that I'm passionate about graphic design and art. She was like, you know what, I'ma support you with whatever you need. Even though she didn't have like the finances to take me to the best schools in the land, what she did was like plant the seed. Like whatever I needed, if she had the resources, she would be able to provide. And not only that, for me, the most important thing was just giving me the freedom of expressing myself and the opportunities of just going out there and trying out to see if this is what I really like. So having that foundation helped me a lot because I was able to go out there and make mistakes. I was able to do a lot of trials and error before I finally realized, you know what, this is something that I'm really passionate about and I might be able to make a living out of it. So I have a few pointers and I feel like whatever I'm going to be breaking down can actually work on different industry because it all goes down to what are you really passionate about. So once you pinpoint the gift that you have, like people say, what is your passion? What is your why? What do you really like doing? What do you feel like is something that you can use or something that you have that you can use to change and transform the lives of people around you? Because when you think about the marketplace, the only way people are able to make income using their gift is by solving a problem that's in the community, by solving a problem that they've pinpointed of something that they've been able to identify in the world. And whenever you see a problem, then once you come up with a solution, most definitely you're gonna get the rewards. You're gonna be paid because of your talent. So for me, the one thing that I'm proud I did was I was able to take risk at an early age. I was like, okay, I've always wanted to be an animator. How am I gonna be able to do that? I was back in Nairobi, Kenya, and it wasn't easy because back then we didn't have enough resources to be able to venture into that world. They only had like a few schools that actually did animation. I remember there was one called Shangtao Media Art School and there was another one, GTA. I can't remember the name of the school, but they also offer like high top end graphic designs and branding and all that stuff. But since I didn't have the resources, like the finances to be able to do it, I was like, you know what, I'm just do like the basic certification for graphic design and animation. I wasn't even able to do it all to the end, but I'm grateful for the opportunity because I was introduced to some of the softwares that I was playing with beforehand, like Adobe Illustrator, Adobe Photoshop, CorelDRAW, like all these fancy softwares that people are actually using in the marketplace to process and create concept and ideas, and also animation. So at an early age, I had the opportunity of playing around with that, because when I first started, and I've said this before, I used to use the Microsoft Paint software. So I would go on the Paint and play around with the shapes, the colors, the font, and I was like, you know what, how can I bring out a concept that I have in my head and be able to put it on a design and then finally print it out to see how it looks. So it's been a process, it's been a journey. But the one thing that I like about the journey is I've grown by making mistakes. I've grown by learning and making sure I'm putting my artwork out there, I'm putting my designs out there. Right now, if I look around the interwebs, I see a lot of my work out there. I've been honored to create brands and design that are actually making waves all around the world, and specifically in Africa. And whenever I see that, for me, it's not even about the money, but being able to see that this was an idea, a concept that I had in my head that I was able to create and put out there. And now you have clothing brands that are out there and people are really rocking the designs. You have companies that have my logo, and I'm able to see it on the streets. I'm able to see it on billboards and stuff like that. So I'm always happy whenever I get the opportunity to see that, like just being able to be a part of someone's idea. When a client comes to you and you're able to design the idea and actualize it, and they're able to use it to be able to promote their brand, to be able to sell their product. For me, that gives me the fulfillment, because I know that's a piece of me out there. The one thing I can advise any creator, any artist, any designer, someone who's in the creatives that is trying to major into that field, or trying to figure out a way of making money or creating wealth through his or her gift, is something that my mentor once told me is, if you want to identify what strengths stand out in you, you have to ask the people around you. Ask your close friends, ask your family members to at least highlight what they think is your strength. Like, what is the one thing that always stands out in you? If it's a talent, if you're an artist, if you're a musician, like, get their honest opinion, because once you get their honest opinion, you can always like go through it and analyze yourself and ask yourself, how do I feel about this? Because personally, for me, I was like, okay, I know my strength. I like drawing, I like creating, I like the arts, I like music, like all the things that I loved were revolving around the creative scene. So I had to figure out, how am I going to be able to do something that I enjoy, and at the end of the day, be able to get paid for doing it. So my goal at the beginning of it was not even getting paid. My goal at the beginning of it was being able to enjoy what I was doing and be able to get the results. And then at the end of it, I knew once I've mastered my craft, once I've mastered the skills that I had, most definitely I was going to get paid doing that. So you have to, first of all, tap into the gift that you have and learn from the people who came before you, because once your team or your family have highlighted your strength, and then you want to sit down and break it down to against your strength and your weaknesses, and see what you feel like is your strongest strength, and then take that and see how you can be able to refine it. Take that and see how you can be able to add more skills into it, sharpen it. And once you've identified that, start working on that. One thing I feel sad nowadays is a lot of the youngins or the up and coming creators, or people who are just venturing into the industry, want to gain popularity, or they just want to reap the rewards like today. They want overnight success, which for me is not a reality. If you understand the rule about the 10,000 hours, you have to put in the work. You have to practice, you have to make mistakes, you have to refine your styles. If I show you some of my graphic designs from, like, I would say the 2000s, you would laugh. Like, sometimes I look at my backlog of designs and I laugh at myself. I'm like, oh my God, this is trash. I can't even put it out there. But guess what? I'm proud of it, because I had to start there for me to be able to get to where I am right now. Because with the limited resources that I have, like softwares and all that, I still was passionate about creating, and I was using any necessary tools I would get to put myself out there. And along the way, I've experienced so much because I can give you a list of times where I had to go to other designers and they would finesse me, like I would have to pay X amount of money for a design that wasn't even it. And I had to learn from it. And so I had to learn the steps, like from how to create a brand, how to go out there and pitch the idea to a client, how to bring the idea from the client into fruition, like being able to create what they wanted, the back and forth between you and the customers. Like it's a journey. But guess what? Every time you do it, every time you go out there and do what is necessary, you're learning, you're sharpening your skills, and it helps you become better. And when you think about all these steps, they work all around in all the different industries. Because think of it, if you're a photographer, you have to go out there and make sure you're taking shots. Every single day you get an opportunity, take your camera, go out there and try out until you figure out what your style is. You have people who are good in portraits, you have people who are good in landscape photography, skyscrapers and all that. You have people who are good in shooting videos and all that stuff. But before you get there, you have to first of all go through all the different motions, learn through all the different aspects of the industry until you find your niche, until you find what really works for you. So you have to put in the work. That's the first thing you have to know. You have to put in the works, and that's going to enable you to refine your craft and refine your skill before you move on to the next step. My encouragement for anybody that is starting, don't be scared. Like at the end of it all, you can never become a master without making mistakes. Put yourself out there. If you're passionate about arts, if you're passionate about photography, if you're passionate about music, you have to start doing it. The only thing that's holding you back is you're not doing it. You have to start somewhere. Use the resources that you have. If you're gonna download instrumentals and just record yourself rapping or singing and kind of like fine tune that, go on YouTube, go on all these websites that have free resources that can help you refine your skill and refine your craft. Trust me, that's the most important part, starting. I'll give you a simple example. In as much as I was capable of doing all that when I first started the podcast last year, like 6 or 7 months ago, I didn't know much about editing videos or even recording audios and then editing, creating all this stuff. But guess what? Because I was passionate about what I'm doing right now and I wanted to use the gifts that I have to be able to share this information and knowledge, then I had to start practicing. And I made my own mistake, and I'm still learning every single day. And that's the beauty of it. But the most important thing that I've taught myself over the years is not giving up. Always showing up when it is necessary. Always refining my skills and learning from my mistake, and then learning from the people who came before me, so that I don't have to go on a long journey of learning from my mistakes. Like if you want to cut the journey into half, learn from people who've already been there. Create like connections with mentors who are going to enable you to become better in your craft. So once you figure out what your passion is, once you figure out what your strength is, then the next thing that I've learned, and I feel like most people don't want to do this, is you have to serve. I know we all want to get paid for our gift. We want, like they always say, we don't want to be starving artists. We don't want to be starving creatives, because for the longest time, designers and creatives have always been given the short end of the stick. And the best thing about the times that we are living right now, things are changing. And if you look at the art scene right now with NFTs, with all these things happening, the metaverse, like right now, creatives are really making the bag. Like if you're a content creator, if you create content, you get paid. If you're a virtual assistant, you're a social media manager, you create all this content, you're getting paid. So there are many ways where you can make the bag, where you can be able to get paid and create a lifestyle using the talent and the gift you have. But before you get to the top tier, before you get to the creme de la creme of the industry, you have to create your mark in the marketplace. And how are you going to be able to create your mark in the marketplace? You have to make sure that you're able to put yourself in the marketplace by serving in one way or another, in a capacity at one point or another. And for me, the way I used to do, I would go out there and identify people who actually needed my services. I would actually identify a brand. This is true story. This is how I used to pitch out when I was doing signages and branding for, like, let's say organizations and companies, I would identify a company around me that maybe didn't have uniforms, they didn't have like their brand or merchandise. I would identify a brand, like a company that didn't have, let's say, a signage outside their business establishment. And then I would go sit down, create a mock-up, create a concept. And then once I had the concept, I would go out there and pitch them. Because think about it this way: if you want to solve a problem in the community, sometimes the person who actually owns the brand or the company doesn't even realize they're missing out on a lot of money. So when you go out of your way to create a concept, when you go out of your way to create an idea, and then you go and pitch it to them, guess what? The first thing you've done is the shock value, because they didn't expect anybody was thoughtful about them. So when you sit down and create a concept and then you go out there and pitch it for them, I can guarantee you 95% of the time, they're going to give you the business. And the reason why they're going to give you the business is because you actually helping them solve a problem. Because in their mind, they're like, yo, this person has gone out of the way to think about my business and how I can be able to generate more revenue. And trust me, who doesn't want to make more money? So if you want to position yourself in the marketplace, create a solution for a problem that's existing. And so when you create a concept, when you put your ideas out there and then you go and share it with whoever has the brand or whoever needs the problem solved, chances are they're going to give you the business. And what happens is, once you've done that for them and they give you the business, most of the time what they do is they go out there and speak good things about you. They'll be like, yo, there's this guy who's actually a nice designer. Guess what? He just walked into my office and he had this concept and he pitched it to me and I gave him the job. So now what is happening is they're actually marketing you. It's a word of mouth. They're putting your business out there, and now chances are you're going to start getting more referrals in your business. So sometimes you don't have to wait for people to come to you. You have to go out there to them. Another thing that you can do, if you're in a community where they have a church, let's say an organization, an NGO, you can actually offer to volunteer by, maybe if you're a photographer, taking photos whenever they have events, or even just showing up, taking photos and then sharing it with them once the event is done, because sometimes they don't even have anyone who was actually designated for that. So when you serve with your talent and your gift, what is happening is you're blessing other people with the talent that you have, but at the back end, you're building social proof. You're making sure that you're being seen out there. People are able to see your gift. People are able to see what you actually are capable of doing. So I want to encourage you that if you want to create a mark in the marketplace, if you want to be known as an artist, as an actor, as a creative, like, you have to give 130%. Don't settle for less. Don't wait for people to come your way. You have to go out there into the marketplace and figure out what solutions you're going to be able to bring into the marketplace. And another thing I just want to encourage you don't have to have everything figured out. You don't have to have a whole office like with all the gadgets and gears, all the things figured out. No, you can actually start with minimum resources. If I was going to start a podcast right now, all I need is my cell phone. I don't even need a mic to start. All you need is your phone and all the free apps that are out there that can enable you to start a podcast. You have, let me think about it. You have Anchor, you have Buzzsprout. Like, there's a ton of apps there. Some you might have to pay, but majority of them are free. So when you figure out, like, hey, how can I be able to start a podcast? Go out there. Use your phone. Think about the stories that you want to tell. Think about the solutions that you want to bring into your community and start from there. Don't worry about being great. Like, you have to start. If I'm an artist, go grab some canvases or use the resources that you have around you. Start by sketching strangers. Start by sketching the people around you. Like, refine your art. But the most important thing, you have to put yourself out there. Build some social proof behind your gift and your talent. You don't have to have an office and all that stuff. I can tell you for a fact, both me and my partners, when we first started our branding company, we had a briefcase company for almost 5 or 6 years. Like all we used to do is we would carry all our designs in our backpack, pitch all these ideas, and then we would outsource the headache. What I mean by saying that is because we didn't have all these machines to print like banners and billboards, we didn't have the manpower to print all our merchandise in because we didn't have a warehouse. What we used to do is we'd go out there, pitch an idea, make sure when we're pitching an idea for, let's say, jerseys or uniforms for a certain brand, we'd make sure when we price or quote the item, we have a markup price that's gonna give us profit, and then the remainder we would pay companies who had already had everything set up. So we used to outsource the headache, like go pitch the idea, get the business, pay somebody else to do it, and then deliver the items with our letterheads, with our company logo and everything, and at the end of the day, keep the profit. So that was our slogan: outsource the headache, keep the resources. And we did this for a long time, and that's the only way we were able to build a business empire, by doing that. So sometimes you don't have to have everything figured out. And right now, there's so much that can be done so easily. You want to start a cloth line? Go online. Go check on AliExpress, Alibaba. You have all these wholesalers who can actually build and design your brand in China and any other places. You have Printful. All you need to do is create a concept, create a Shopify store, and then start selling your brands and t-shirts, and they will do everything for you. Like they will print the t-shirts, they will fulfill the orders for you. All you need to do is just market and promote the product, and guess what? You're making money in your sleep. So there are many ways of doing all this stuff. There are many ways of using your talent to grow without having to have all the resources. You don't need an office. You can work from home. You can do it online. So don't feel discouraged if you're starting out in this industry. If you're starting out as a graphic designer, as a photographer, as an artist, like there are major ways. Even for musicians, now you can create your music and put your music on TuneCore, and you'll start getting paid as long as you're promoting your music and you have people who actually like what you have out there. Put it on YouTube. Like there are major ways of using the streaming platforms that are gonna be able to generate money for you. So this is just an encouragement for anybody who's out there and you're thinking, okay, I have a gift, I've identified my gift, how am I gonna be able to get paid? Before you start making the bread, you have to make sure you're serving. Like I said, you have to make sure you're refining your skill every single day. You have to make sure that you're surrounding with people who are gonna be able to impact your life by adding more value to you and helping you understand more about the industry. So it's a learning curve. Like you have to put yourself out there and show up every day, post on your social media so that people can see what you're working on. It doesn't have to be perfect. You can learn as you're growing. And trust me, when you build a community, you'll have a team of people who've seen you start from zero, and they're great because they are watching you progress every single day. And that's the beauty of life, because if someone can see how far you've come, then that actually encourages them to try and push themselves to become better in their own way. So my challenge to you as a graphic designer, as an artist, as a photographer, even as an entrepreneur, is start where you are, start with what you have. Don't give up if you don't have the resources, if you don't have the machines, if you don't have all the bells and whistles for you to become great. Use other people as stepping stone to enable you to get into the next level of your life. But the most important thing is start where you are. As long as you have the motivation to wake up and show up and do what is necessary, I can guarantee you are going to be successful. So life story, like I said, I started from scratch with Paint on Microsoft, and then learned how to finesse some softwares, learned how to unlock and jailbreak some software so I can use, because in Africa we didn't have like it was hard for us to pay a subscription for like a software back then, and not many people had it, so you had to go out there and see who has one, and then once you got one, you'd use it. Like when other people on Adobe CS5, we were still using Adobe 7.4, but we were making it, like we were still using it and coming out with great concept, because at the end of the day, they always say necessity is the mother of invention. Because we didn't have much, we were making great use of what we had. So that's just my motivation. Surround yourself with a team that actually is passionate, or a community that is in the same field as you are, and I guess you'll be able to uplift each other by encouraging each other and sharing ideas that are going to enable you to step into the next level. So think about it. If you want to get paid for your gift, if you want to get paid for your talent, you have to start somewhere. And don't worry at the end of the day about how much you're going to be earning, as long as you're refining your craft, as long as you're serving out there with your gift. If you have to design birthday flyers for your friends so that other people can see your creativity, if you have to show up for family gatherings and be the designated photographer, go out there, do that, come back, edit the photos, and then send it to the family. And once they see this, they're gonna start putting the word out there for you, and you're gonna start getting all these gigs. If you're good at shooting videos or editing videos, make all these videos for your friend. Go out there, look at their businesses, get some pictures, get some videos of their product, shoot that, or even ask if you can shoot some product for them, edit that, and then showcase that for them. You'll do it like once or twice, but once they see your creativity and how it's actually bringing more revenue from them, then you can sit down and create a plan on how they can be able to pay you for the talent or the problem that you're solving for them. So you have to be proactive. Don't wait for people to come to you. You have to go to the marketplace and figure out how you can be able to solve a problem, because I believe for one problem that's out there, you have like 4 or 5 or 6 ways that you can be able to solve them and generate revenue from those resources. So this is just an encouragement for my people out there. Don't give up on yourself. Don't belittle the gift that you have. Like I always say, 90% of your success is between your ears, in your brain, and the rest, the 10%, is on your hands. Like, you already have the gift that you need to make you successful. You have the gift that's gonna build generational wealth for you, in you. It's not out there, it's in you. So when you're thinking about how am I gonna be successful, how am I gonna be able to become great, how am I gonna be able to build a legacy, whatever legacy you wanna build is not out there, it's within you. But you have to tap into your gift. You have to refine it. You have to show up every single day and showcase your talent, showcase your gift and your craft for the world to see. Go out there and find some problems that you can solve, and in return, you're gonna get rewarded for the problems that you're solving for your community. All right? It's not that hard. You just have to start with what you have. You just have to encourage yourself and show up every day and do what is necessary to transform your life and make you better. And I believe once you do that, once you follow up with everything that I've spoken about, chances are you're going to be successful. I believe in you, and I know you are going to be great in the near future. All right? Don't give up on yourself. Show up and be great. All right? I've been your host, Joe Chege. This has been the Ownership and Greatness. I appreciate the love that you guys are showing for the YouTube channel and for the podcast. And if this was your first time and you haven't had an opportunity to subscribe to our YouTube channel, feel free to subscribe to it. And also feel free to leave us a review on all our podcast platforms. And we would definitely appreciate that, because once you do that, it gives us the opportunity to reach out more people and be a blessing unto them. Like I always say every single day, Ownership and Greatness is here to uplift and empower and tell stories of great people who use the minimum resources that they have in their life to transform their lives and become great. All right. Peace and blessing. Hope to see you next time. I'm out. Thank you all.
Ownership and Greatness.